Hello, my name is Laurie Dean. I am doing this video presentation for Elizabethtown College. This is on the case study, the Group Health East, that we had to review for this week. The first thing that I'd like to discuss would be the issues that were identified with Mr. Jones, the CEO. Mr. Jones currently lacks technical skills. Some of the reasons for that was that he had distanced himself from the technical aspect of patient care several years ago. So therefore, current state, it makes it a little bit difficult for him to know what his employees are doing and how they're doing that work. So he could brush up on those skills, and he really needs to look at the technical aspect and kind of get back to looking at being able to identify with what skill sets his technical employees are doing, and looking at that from a standpoint so that he knows what exactly they're doing, how the work's being done, so that he can look at the processes and evaluate their skills and what needs to be done for the skill sets. The other thing that he needs to work on would be his interpersonal skills. He needs to work on repairing some relationships with staff. There have been several complaints and feedback regarding relationships that he's had with his high-level staff that he's worked with, and also some frustrations that have been expressed. So he needs to rebuild trust among the staff members to ease some of those frustrations, and then work on creating a positive work environment where staff feel supported. He needs to round with employees and conduct site visits to gain valuable information and get employee feedback. Whether he wants to hear that feedback or not, that is valuable in gaining the knowledge that he needs as to what would make him a better manager. Also, he'll need to focus on tri-level management, which includes self-management, time management, things like that. Also focusing on his team, management of his employees and staff, and then focusing on management within the organization. And that can ensure success for all levels. Success for himself as a manager, success for his team, and then also to create success for the organization. The next thing I would like to discuss would be the matrix model. The matrix model is the plan with which they're looking to move forward with. They need to look at the information for the external environment, and specifically looking at the two major hospitals that the Group Health East is affiliated with. Looking at those because that's important for planning, organizing, controlling, and decision making. They'll want to look at those two other major hospitals within, that are close to Group Health East for several reasons. Some of that is to look and see if Group Health East can offer specific services that might be unique to their organization that the other organizations do not offer, and then also to look at the services to offer the right services in the work, and could those organizations work collaboratively. So offering the right or appropriate services within those organizations. Maybe one organization offers something that the other organization isn't going to offer, and then referring back and forth. And how does that work, and really looking at that from a strategic standpoint. So that takes a lot of thought process and decision making and planning. And then relying on the experts for the information. So he had a good thought process there because he's distanced himself from the technical aspect, just really going to the Gemba and looking and relying on those experts, the boots at the ground people that are really doing the work. He'll need financial information, so budget information, reports, statistical information such as volumes for providers. He'll need to look at the employees' workloads to determine that he has the right amount of staff needed to sustain the model and the current and future productivity volumes for growth, and just looking at current state and then the growth for the strategic planning and decision making. And then he'll need to compare the organization, Group Health East, to similar organizations using benchmark reports and comparison data, which includes surveys. And he'll also want to look at those other organizations that are in the area to make sure from a competitive standpoint that they're also able to compete from a revenue standpoint and service standpoint. The next steps would include employer recruitment, so hiring the right people for the right jobs, and then developing those staff by providing a good solid foundation with good training and continued development opportunities. So even leadership opportunities. He may even be able to recruit staff from within and develop current staff as they grow the organization into some future leadership opportunities. Retaining employees is as important as the succession planning that he would need to want to think about. So providing staff with tools to work to their maximum potential, and then having a plan for the organization and the different departments so that they could function under new leadership. So succession planning is important if Mr. Jones would be to take another opportunity or look to leave the organization. He'd want to set people up for success so that they could sustain and work to continue to the level that they would need to, as if he was no longer with that organization. And he could do that while he was currently there, and that's what a good manager wants to do. And then he'd also want to set attainable goals, for example, quality measures or outcomes, such as look at hospitalizations and readmissions. This is the reference that I used. It was the course book that we have, and then also the video that we had for this week, which I did not include here. I want to thank you very much for your time, and I hope that you enjoyed this video presentation. Thank you.